What's up, everybody? Early stream tonight. Not even 7 o'clock. But we got the waxing crescent, 10% right now. Day 2 of the moon for me. And yeah, so I want to try and get a shot of Venus. Might not happen, but in the next 10 minutes it's going to get dark, and Venus is right under the moon with Mercury, but the trees are definitely in the way. And then there's going to be Jupiter and Saturn. It seems like a bunch of satellites are transiting tonight, so I'm trying to get some of that and just get set up over here. Tried to go live quick and get this moon. It's looking nice and it's getting dark. Yo, what's going on? July Soul. Thank you. And what's up, Howie Dunn? How you doing? Just peeking around, seeing if I can't grab a quick shot of Venus before it sets. It's still too bright out to see. I'm just gonna wait with the scope and try and get us that shot. Yo, yo. What's up, Jeremy Scott? And everybody join in. So this is Jupiter. You can see it with the moons to the left. And I'm still trying to get a peek here at Venus. I can't really see it, but I'm gonna try again. I'll be right back. It's gonna be a fun show, I feel it. Jupiter's looking great already. And the moon is about to get brighter. If you're new, definitely check out the description of the video, and you'll see some links to the gear and music and Electric Universe stuff. So let's get strapped in and ready for the ride into space tonight. It's exciting. Let's do it. What's going on? James Mays and Silent Murmur. Silent Murmur, what's going on? So James Mays says, show us Mars. So I don't have a shot of Mars. Venus and Mercury are right near where I just showed you the airplane. And that's why I'm going to scope around, but it's really tough because to spot them you need the reticle, the little red spotter on the scope, to be able to be visible, and right now it's so bright that I can barely see it. I can only spot the moon, really. I got to Jupiter, luckily. So another 10 minutes is going to be dark enough to basically scope. We'll see if Venus and Mercury are visible. It's going to be tough. But then Jupiter and Saturn, definitely visible. Mars, nope. And then try and get y'all some satellites tonight. I feel like there are like 5 or 6 ones that are going to be passing around 8 o'clock. So we'll try for that. And then you also asked if the sun has a surface. So I follow Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille, Sky Scholar, and he talks about the sun having a surface. And I think a lot of that information is correct, but I don't know for sure. The only thing I can say is I've definitely seen images of, magnetic filaments splashing down on the surface, or what looks like the surface of the sun, creating transverse waves like ripples in a pond. So it's very possible that the sun does have a surface. But again, I'm not a solar astronomer much. I've done a little bit, but specialty is the moon. Love that Mare Crisium is cut in half tonight. You got a string of awesome craters below it. We'll do some zoomed in shots too. You got 2 double chains. I'm just double checking these names. I believe it's Petavius crater at the bottom. Batavius and I think Hayes or Batavius, and then above that there's Lowe's, Holden, Vendelinus, and Lame. Lame, I guess. So funny, I've just never read that before. Anyway, we'll zoom in a bit, check them out. I don't think we're gonna get Venus, unfortunately. So strange. I'm seeing it in Stellarium at the right location, but the scope is not being able to spot it. Possible that it's just out of sight or just too cloudy. But back at the moon, it's looking nice. that's pretty annoying. It's right there, but I can't get the scope any higher. So, unfortunately. Anyway, I got a peek of Venus with my own eyes, and I will translate the feeling. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope the audio and video is coming through okay. And we're back to the moon here. I can't wait for it to get a little bit darker and we'll see some earth shine with this tune jam. Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Kimmy? Yum, stuffed cabbage. What's up, Z Proxy? Silent says, is the key showing your light meter? So it's showing the ISO, which is the gain, the signal to noise, and then it's showing the shutter speed, and it's showing the f-stop, which doesn't change. It's based on the telescope. So the scope is f10, and then that graph is showing the histogram. So that's just amount of light versus bright pixels. Excited pixels. I just had blue wave and I lost it. Damn. It's right here. It already got so hot. It's crazy. But play some tunes. That's a beautiful moon. Day 2, of course. 10% exactly. What up? Hopping on here to welcome Michael McDuffie. Good to see you, Ben. So yeah, this is your first time watching live, I guess. Super cool. Please ask me any questions you want, and everybody please welcome Michael. And I love that you're watching it on Roku while you sculpt. That's awesome. So yeah, I got the waxing crescent moon. I was trying to get some Venus earlier, but no dice. And then we'll see Jupiter and Saturn. And I'm gonna try and get some satellites tonight. I feel like by like 8 o'clock there should be a few things coming through. It looks busy, our skyways. So should be exciting. Play some more tunes here. Michael is from, or at least I know Michael from the Electric View channel, where we hang out every Sunday at 1:30 and chat about stuff with Neil and Rick, Shockwave, and many other cool people. And we did it this week on a Monday, I think, right? This is Monday. This week has been just so crazy. It's all up in the clouds. Yo, what's up, Vicky? Nice to see you. I finally caught one, and I'm not talking about a fish. So cool. I'm glad. I know you missed the last one, but here we are with a perfect waxing crescent, like I said, 90-10 tonight. Mood TV, exactly. Let's get some tunes in here. lasting view, ignore the thru. I lived it once and forget the state, now into true. Tell the world what's new. Hues and blue burning from the nest as the sea rising from the west. Old time, see my rivers wide, close eyes, oh bring my wishes back. Open skies, clear the rivers wide. Old time, bring my peace to life. Deep inside your soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul, I keep you waiting. I keep you deep inside your soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside of you. I was the rain, over give you love and a common peace. Feel your pain cause it's part of me. I know you really think when your body's built. I'm amazed by the words on your lips. Feel your name and a common peace. It's insane that you're part of me. Never lifts from my iron wrists. It's as if everybody is the same body. Insane that you want for relief. Maybe one day suddenly I made it the way that somebody someday, but he will get slip. Here in space now we come in peace. Seeing things that you cannot believe. Ready to trip on the drift, we can lift to the do, cause I love to give you. We are the space race, we are the moonball, we are the franchise, we are the sequel, they don't equal. How are we still here? For your place along the space race. Standing at the inner corner on a beach outside of heaven, across the street from where I grew up after bomb and rains. Somehow we lived, somehow we died, somehow we came back to the city side and drive through civilized genocide. We had to fight with your armies, railed down from the Western forces.
got no love for the harmony. You bear no hate for the Western forces. When you speak out, when you sing loud, everybody wanna tear you down. But come on, come on, come on, step to me. I got nothing but love to give you. We are the space race, we are the moon, we are the franchise, we are the sequel, mirror of the ether. How are we still here? Look for your place along the space race.
You know what's happening. So, Kimmy, I hate to be one of those people that's like, go look at the illustration and graphic of it, but while it is complicated, it kind of makes sense when you see the illustration of how it rotates. And libration is basically the fact that at certain junctions we see the moon tilting at certain directions. That's proof of the fact that it's spinning, the fact that we see different parts of it. Or at least it's orbiting, you know? What's happening, Pauline? Anything passed by? Not yet, but I'm keeping an eye out for satellites tonight, starting at 8. What's up, Duplicat? Trick or Treats, Astro Cats. What's up, what's up? Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to just, you know, believe what you want to believe on it, but it seems like that's the case, that the moon does rotate. Unfortunately, we can't see the other side of it, but we get to see about 64% of the moon. I've definitely seen that myself. What's happening, Ellie Wynn? Welcome. And Wingsley, Elisha. Let's see. So the moon is hurriedly setting, so I'm staying here for a bit, and then we can hit up Jupiter and Saturn. It's looking nice and clear. He says, yeah, what is about the tilting? Why does it do that? It doesn't tilt. I mean, it seems like it's tilting, but it's because it, whoa. Damn, of course I broke the microphone stand. Well, because it's rotating, and the Earth is rotating, and at certain periods, because of orbits and because individual planetary rotation, you end up seeing a little bit more of one side of the moon than the other. That's called libration. And that's proof of the fact that the moon and the Earth are both spinning. Because if you see it in a 3D model, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, I'll just make one note about idea of conspiracies and stuff like that. Just because a certain agency lies and deceives doesn't mean that all technology has to be false, right? Because even deceit requires a lot of truth in order to convince people. So technologies that show Earth rotation, satellites, things like that exist. Do we know about all satellites? No. Do we know the purpose of all satellites? No. So I think it's very important to be critical, but also, and cynical, and skeptical, but also be rational when it comes to looking at things and making sense of them. So it's very obvious that the moon is spherical, or at least hemispherical. It's certain that it's there, and it looks like a rock, not a hologram. But then there are ideas in pop sci that are like, the moon is 4 billion years old. We don't know that. All craters are impact related. We don't know that. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's up, Mary? How's it going? And then what element holds these objects in space? There's no element that holds them in space, in my opinion. They grow like little nodules on veins, like on tree branches or lymph nodes in your system. That's what holds things together. Like they're already on branches that you don't see because the plasma that's holding them together and the Birkeland currents are invisible to the naked eye. They're also in dark mode. What's up, Chris Kelly? And everybody join in. All right, so I started really early tonight because the moon is setting. You can see it fringing right now. It's getting red. And we got Jupiter in tow. We got Saturn coming up as well. I was trying to get a shot of Venus earlier because Venus is setting right after the sun with Mercury. And I was like, can I get it? And I couldn't see it for a while, and then I finally saw a glimpse of it with my own eye, but I couldn't get the scope on it. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. I haven't got a shot of Mercury in so long. Or Venus rather. So looking at some of the prominent craters, there's Petavius. That's the one that's really central with a big central peak. I'm moving up. Let's take a look at Mare Crisium that's cut in half by the Terminator. And you can see some of the filamentary action going. It's pretty warm, that's true. All right, let's get on this science tip. So Pauline's asking, what's that wee light to the right? I think you're talking about a star, right? Or are you talking about the feature within the dark side or Earthshine? Silent Murmur there to the 11 o'clock, and you're talking about Copernicus and Kepler and then Aristarchus. Got some sketching we can do right here. Got Copernicus right there with all the filaments coming out. And then right there got Kepler. Its rays coming out a lot more defined. And we got Aristarchus right at the top, diamond base. Its filaments coming out. Damn, the moon's already hitting the trees. Yeah, it's probably a star, Pauline. Let's see. That's already too low. Yeah, there are palm trees in the way, so it's kind of diffracting the moonlight. Let this track play out. Yo, what up, Daylight? How's it going? Which video are you talking about? The Saturn wave? I was just going to share this with you. I thought you might have been on that show. I talked about it, but here we go. This is a link to a playlist that I made. It has 13 videos in it. No significance of that, just happened to be. And it might even have your lunar wave in there, but maybe not. I wasn't sure if you still had that up. But anyway, if you'd like me, I can add it to this list. But it's got Chris Parker, it's got John McKeon, it's got Rethink Everything, Richard 205, Truth Seeker. Oh yeah, They Lie. It's got your video. And a couple of others. And then at the end, it's got Smarter Every Day, showing shockwave, shadows, and ultra slow motion. And it's also got this video from the channel called 2040, explaining lunar wave. And he shows a reference to a sonic boom video, which breaks the sonic barrier, sound barrier, and creates this, what looks like the closest thing that I can imagine looks like this wave phenomenon. And then if you look at the Smarter Everyday video, you'll see like a bullet, which is hypersonic, cutting through, and it creates an exact effect, this double wave that follows the bullet like a wake. However, you know, a lot of people have said it's airplanes, but I don't think airplanes break the sound barrier like regular airplanes. So either it's hypersonic jets or different types of craft that could have broken the sound barrier. Seems like the most rational explanation for it. So take a look. That's the closest I got to explaining it. It's the same thing. It would make it's exact same phenomenon on Saturn, Jupiter. At least what I'll say is this series of videos makes, you know, definitively answers whether it's a camera related issue. It definitively answers for me that it's not regular like 747s, because those don't create the same type of wake. And I know for sure that the moon's not a hologram. So those three things about waves I think are definitive for me. What it is exactly, it seems to me closest thing is something that creates a sonic boom. So an aircraft or some type of craft that breaks the sound barrier, and or test warfare stuff, missiles or whatnot. It also could be micrometeorites hitting our atmosphere and creating like a little sonic boom as they break through the magnetosphere, ionosphere, atmosphere of Earth, creating what looks like a sonic boom ripple. It's natural, it's phenomenal, and it's rare, but it's also something that makes sense to me. I think that's it. But I just want to put to rest that, like, people are like, always, it's like the camera, or you're faking it. It's so ridiculous. It's such an illogical way to look at it. So anyway, hope this helps. And hope it's all right that I used the video. Let's play some tunes here. Moon has set, so let's hit up some jupes. working here. So we got the Great Red Storm in view. I keep muting myself with the foot pedal. All right. So Great Red Storm in view. Jupiter is definitely racing to set right now, so we got lots of chromatics, but see it. What do we got? Daylight says, I agree, wonder why it comes in pairs. I'm pretty sure it's just like, have you ever heard like the airplanes passing over and they hit that? That's really what it is. It's just a double sonic boom. It's like, it makes a lot of sense to me, and that would definitely create those kind of bullet wake trails. They would radiate like ripples in a pond, and there would be two of them that were significant, but of course, like, there are probably tiny little ones in between, like it's compression and rarefaction of the wave. So the ones that we see passing through the moon, you'll see that it almost, there is rippling in between the two, but the two defined wave fronts, I think, are from that sonic boom effect. That makes perfect sense to me personally. Let's see. Duplicate says some type of craft. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know, like, or maybe it's like micrometeorites, like things that are a couple of feet, but coming in at like 16,000 miles an hour, hitting our skies and creating like a sonic boom, like a bullet going through the air. Vicky says, has anyone put it to paper on time and days? So that playlist I posted, I'll post it one more time. If anybody wants to do that research and put them all in time and date, I've done like 5 or 6 of them, and it seemed too arbitrary to find a pattern. Of course, I'm sure somebody else might, but for me, it makes a lot of sense that we all live next to bases that are testing things. There definitely are aircraft that are supersonic, hypersonic. There are definitely missile tests, both of which can cause this, and micrometeorites too. So there are 3 very logical causes that are rare, but not insane sounding. Oh man, Sully's World. Glad you're okay. Holy shit. Welcome, welcome. Another day alive. Let's enjoy it together. Silent Murmur says, my math is roinya. Roinya. Love it. Fun misspellings. And Daylight says, that makes me mad when they say I faked it. Thanks for posting my vid and the link. Hell yeah. Happy to. Yeah, it's super annoying if you see tons of comments under the video saying that it's the camera. And I'm like, man, that's so ridiculous. It takes like 5 minutes to check and make sure that it's not the camera. Think about it, like, why would it only happen when you're doing space photography? I have a Sony, other people, like the Jupiter wave especially, because that guy's in Ireland with a completely different camera than mine, and it looks identical. So, pretty ridiculous. A computer to check against CMEs, etc. No, definitely, I haven't done that work, but that's a good idea. Duff says, I feel like I'm gazing into the near future as it's still daylight here. That's pretty awesome. I always feel like this show is the edge of reality. It's the very end of, the very fringe of the Earth forming into new material. And then watching space, of course, seeing like, you know, us watching space means we'll see if something happens first. It's basically waiting for the end of the world or the beginning of the next. Nice red spot, thanks. I want to get in there a little bit closer, but it's really, the image is a bit aberrant right now. I bet you we all live close enough to an Air Force base that, at least in America, that you're going to see or like have nearby test stuff, test craft. Man, it is super hot, humid, whatever you want to call it, but we can keep cruising here. We'll check out some Saturn for a minute and then get back to Jupiter before it sets. Hey, what's up, everybody? So back here at Saturn with the 3X and seeing some nice separation. And like I was saying, the hexagon on the North Pole is right there. A touch of green if you can see it. But, I mean, if I stacked this really and sharpened it properly, we could probably see it. But live, it's pretty tough with this ambient light. What's up, Light Moon? Welcome. So gonna start winding it down over here. Got some dinner soon. Michael says, I think I'm starting to get your perspective on flashbang infotainment. You're celebrating the potential of observation. Cool beans. Our planets are definitely cool beans. Yeah, you know what I mean? I guess it's calmed me down. And when I first got into astronomy, I was still kind of really hyped on aliens and conspiracies and all sorts of stuff and Hollow Earth, and I was like, although Hollow Earth is still up for grabs, but yeah, starting to do these space shows really slowed everything to the point where like you really have to sit and observe and be patient and wait for clouds and wait for dark skies and set up the scope. It takes so much effort to get to this point that when you're blessed with a clear view and a good connection and making this show happen for a small group of people, it is really one of those extremely satisfying situations. I go to bed after every show feeling like something great happened in my day. Yeah, and then the power of direct observation is like, holy crap. I mean, please go watch 90% of YouTube science shows and you won't see a single telescope shot in there. It's crazy. Like, and even what I have here, while pretty amazing, is just, you know, budget, consumer level stuff. You can imagine if somebody had funding or had sponsorship, they could have the most incredible telescopes imaginable, you know, out in a remote observatory. And every science show, from the pop sci to talk shows, they spend so much money on merchandise and studio equipment and all sorts of like travel, and not a single one of them that talks about cosmology, history, space, has an actual shot of a telescope in the background. It's crazy to me. It's almost insane. And I used to joke back in 2015, I was like, man, you know, I always kind of tell the story about how I came up, where there's this guy, Bill Bryson, back in 2012, who had this exact setup on a webcam, and he'd just scour the moon and tell people all about these different regions, and he was certain there were moon bases. And then a couple years later, I found this guy, Crow 777, who has his own theories on space and the moon. I was like, man, is no one else really doing this? So for me, and right here, like seeing Saturn like this, as soon as I saw Saturn, I was hooked. And so yeah, so I feel like you see all these different shows and different people pontificating and spewing all sorts of simulation theory on you, and they don't have a single shot of Saturn like this. Even the Cassini like breakdown, yeah, they have all these pictures from the spacecraft, right? But are you kidding me? Like, if I worked at a space agency, every presentation would have like a live feed from a giant telescope of the object I was talking about. Every single one. And it should have been like that for the last 40 years, but of course, it's always like, you know, some PowerPoint presentation with some super high-def photography from a satellite, and the rest is like just the lamest, most terrible graphics imaginable. Yo, what's up, V-Smart? Hope everybody's feeling good. I share that sentiment. I'm feeling all right tonight, thanks. What's up, Carolina Sky Astronomy? Thanks for all the kind words, everybody. Duplicate says, but scientists say, or experts say, lol, usually equals a BS article story to follow. Gee whiz factor. The pretty way of saying it is, and Duff will like this, is, I think it was, who coined it? Purple prose is what I used to call poetic platitudes. You know, Carl Sagan's poetic platitudes or Stephen Hawking's poetic platitudes is, we're thrust into the vast darkness of billions and billions of stars, and so insignificant. And I'm like, it used to really impress me. And I understand why it impressed a whole generation of people. But when you can spend a few $1,000 and see Saturn like this, forget it. All that stuff goes out the window. I know Carolina Sky Astronomy will agree with me. Like, what do you think? When you started doing astronomy, did it not just completely dwarf the excitement that you got from common media, movies, or science shows, or things like that? For me, like, I can't even watch other stuff really that doesn't have actual footage. Even stuff that I agree with, it still drives me crazy that this is such an easy thing to get into, and yet nobody wants to get into it. It's like, and people are not even interested. I actually commented, like, I love Neil, Ed, Rick, and everything, the whole crew, of course. But I was also laughing last time we had the show that there's an actual star, Fomalhaut, and Jupiter and Saturn were on the screen right next to sci-fi that Neil was talking about. And Neil was super hyped on the sci-fi. And I'm like, literally, there's a star, a node on a filamentary structure that could be, you know, in the realm of 250 trillion miles away, streaming into our telescope, me streaming it out to y'all. And we're looking up pictures of sci-fi shows. It's like so insane to me. Mostly because, like, I used to feel that way, and then as soon as I started looking at real space, I was like, damn, like, this is nothing like what space agencies and movies want you to see. Like, people think that it's less impressive, but to me, this is like unimaginably more impressive than any movie. Seeing Saturn right now as it is, connecting with us, and seeing all the, with all the tiny grain and all the nastiness and trying to keep it centered, is 100,000 times more impressive than anything I've ever seen ever up until this point. So that's why it's like always the edge of space, the edge of reality. As soon as it, like, I put on the stream and I stream it to y'all, anything could happen. Literally, Saturn could be impacted, or Saturn could give off a burst, or we could see something fly through that no one's ever seen before in life. And yet, somehow, people would rather watch Netflix and Marvel and not pay attention or get a telescope of their own. It's pretty insane to me. But I don't judge, because I know that mentality, and it's like, I'm not out to make people think what I think. I'm just out to provide a replication of the experience that I feel when I do astronomy and play music, to a small subset of people on YouTube that find my channel and give a shit enough to sit through it. Because, you know, for some reason, this is that kind of speakeasy that you come to a city, you're like, where's the cool place to go? And you find the speakeasy, or you find that weird, the weird Cuban restaurant that no one knows about, or the pizza joint that is just down the block from the really famous pizza joint that everybody goes to but really sucks. Carolina says that Carolina Sky Astronomy says, I rather look at things in space with my telescope than watch TV any day of the week. Hell yeah, man. I feel that. And Tammy, it's not to say that I love Netflix, love me some Netflix, but and the new season of BoJack. But at the same time, like, even when I got Netflix on, I got an eye out the window being like, damn, that's a little bit more moon. Even after I've streamed like 4 hours for y'all, I'll head indoors and eat, and I'll be like, damn, I should stream some more. And it's not even streaming, it's more that if I'm gonna do astronomy, I'm gonna stream it if I can. But yeah. Taco Tuesday. Now we start talking about food, but it's already Wednesday, so tonight I don't even know what I want yet, but I'm getting there, especially now that I'm thinking about tacos. Jesus. What's happening, Alicia Evans? Welcome. Got some Saturn up in here on the 8-inch with the 3X. All right, y'all. I think it's time for me to get some dinner before it's too late, before all the places close nearby. It's been a beautiful one. Check back at the beginning of the stream to see some moon during the evening light. I'm gonna try again tomorrow, early stream, try and get some Venus. And then I really gotta do a solar stream and get practiced as well. But I appreciate y'all listening to me and hanging out. Again, thanks Michael for hanging out. Great to have you here. And all my regulars and new peoples as well. Kimmy, thank you so much. And Ellie, very kind words. It's very encouraging. I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Just gotta chill out and sit on the steps. The jazz bar of astronomy. Love it. All right, going through it. Silent, thanks so much. Duff, thanks so much. Catch you soon. Kimmy, thank you. Ellie, thank you. Duplicat, keep prowling those comments. I gotta see some new videos soon. It's been so long since I checked like the Electric Universe updates. This weekend is it. All right, Mark Rowe and Tammy and Vicky and Alicia and Be Smart and Joe Salamoni and let's see, scrolling. And then Pauline. All right. Have a great Halloween tomorrow. And if the skies are clear, I'll see you here at like 7 Eastern. Stay safe, stay kind. I'll catch you soon. All right, I'm out of here.